Warmest greetings to all my incredible subscribers and new viewers alike. Welcome to our channel, where today's focus is all about Armenian cuisine. Let's get started. Armenian cuisine includes the foods and cooking techniques of the Armenian people and traditional Armenian foods and dishes. The cuisine reflects the history and geography where Armenians have lived, as well as sharing outside influences from European and Levantine cuisines. The cuisine also reflects the traditional crops and animals grown and raised in Armenian-populated areas. The preparation of meat, fish, and vegetable dishes in an Armenian kitchen often requires stuffing, frothing, and puréeing. Lamb, eggplant, and bread lavash are basic features of Armenian cuisine. Armenians traditionally prefer cracked wheat bulgur to maize and rice. The flavor of the food often relies on the quality and freshness of the ingredients rather than on excessive use of spices. Fresh herbs are used extensively, both in the food and as accompaniments. Dried herbs are used in the winter when fresh herbs are not available. Wheat is the primary grain and is found in a variety of forms, such as whole wheat, shelled wheat, bulgur, parboiled, cracked wheat, semolina, farina, and flour. Historically, rice was used mostly in the cities and in certain rice-growing areas such as Marash and the region around Yerevan. Legumes are used liberally, especially chickpeas, lentils, white beans, and kidney beans. Nuts are used both for texture and to add nutrition to Lenten dishes. Of primary usage are not only walnuts, almonds, and pine nuts, but also hazelnuts, pistachios in Cilicia, and nuts from regional trees. Fresh and dried fruit are used both as main ingredients and as sour agents. As main ingredients, the following fruits are used: apricots fresh and dried, quince, melons, and others. As sour agents, the following fruits are used: sumac berries in dried, powdered form, sour grapes, plums either sour or dried, pomegranate, apricots, cherries especially sour cherries, and lemons. In addition to grape leaves, cabbage leaves, chard, beet leaves, radish leaves, strawberry leaves, and others are also stuffed. As we transition to the next segment, let's unravel the mysteries surrounding background and gain a fresh perspective. A typical meal in an Armenian household might consist of bread, butter, buttermilk, cheese, fresh and picked vegetables, and radishes. Lunch might include a vegetable or meatball soup with sour milk. Lamb, yogurt, eggplant, and bread are basic features of the cuisine of the Caucasus, and in this regard, Armenian cuisine is often similar, but there are some regional differences. In Soviet cookbooks, the Armenian cuisine is always stated to be the oldest of Transcaucasia and one of the oldest in whole Asia. Armenian dishes make use of cracked wheat, especially in Nepalese, while Georgian variations use maize. Armenian cuisine also makes use of mixed flours made from wheat, potato, and maize, which produces flavors that are difficult to replicate. Armenians call kofta kefta and tail fatmak. Archaeologists have found traces of barley, grapes, lentils, peas, plums, sesame, and wheat during excavations of the Ebuni fortress in Yerevan. Herbs are used copiously in Armenian cuisine, and Armenian desserts are often flavored with rose water, orange flower water, and honey. Salads are a staple of the Armenian diet, along with various yogurt soups and lamb stews, which sometimes include apricots. Pomegranate juice is a popular beverage. Murat Belgi has written that both Armenian and Iranian cuisines have meat and fruit dishes, where meat is cooked together with fruits like quince and plums, which are uncommon in Ottoman cuisine. Maize made with chickpeas, lentils, beans, and eggplants play a role in Armenian cuisine, often served with traditional lavash bread. Lavash may also be used as a wrap for various combinations of fried meat, vegetables, cheese, and herbs. Cold cucumber soup is a common dish. Ozbosh is a soup of fatty lamb meat that may include various fruits and vegetables such as quince and apples. Armenian cuisine also features filled pastry pies called boureg, various types of sausages, toasted pumpkin seeds, pistachios, pine nuts, astama, and dolma. Cinnamon is a very commonly used spice in Armenian cuisine. It is sprinkled on soups, breads, desserts, and sometimes even fish. Salads are served with a lemon cinnamon dressing alongside as an accompaniment to meat kebabs. In a survey of Armenian American cuisine, ginger was rated an important spice. Now, let's delve into the intricacies of grains and legumes and explore its various aspects. Grains used in traditional Armenian cuisine included millet, wheat, barley, rye, peas, and maize. Various legumes were also consumed, such as lentils, chickpeas, and beans. Grains are used for a variety of purposes. Traditional lavash bread is made from wheat flour, and grains are also added to soups to give them a thicker consistency. Lavash is baked in a traditional clay toner oven. Bread is a very important staple of Armenian cuisine. Kofta can be made with bulgur, finely chopped vegetables, herbs, and often lamb. There are variations intended to be eaten cold or served hot. Sini kofta is a dish similar to kib, but layered and baked in a baking dish. The two outer layers are made with bulgur, lamb mince, onion, and spices. The inner filling includes butter, onion, lamb mince, pine nuts, and spices. Harissa is a porridge made of wheat and meat cooked together for a long time, originally in the toner but nowadays over a stove. Ardash Hagapkolian called it the national dish of Armenians. Traditionally, harissa was prepared on feast days in communal pots. The wheat used in harissa is typically shelled pelted wheat, though in Adana, harissa is made with korkit, ground, parboiled shelled wheat. Harissa can be made with lamb, beef, or chicken. A common dish of Armenian cuisine is pilaf, yerevan. Pilaf is a seasoned rice, bulgur, or shelled wheat dish often served with meats such as lamb or beef. Armenian recipes may combine vermicelli or orzo with rice cooked in stock seasoned with mint, parsley, and allspice. One traditional Armenian pilaf is made with the same noodle rice mixture cooked in stock with raisins, almonds, and allspice. Armenian rice are discussed by Rose Bayboyan in her cookbook from 1964, which includes recipes for different pilafs, most rooted in her birthplace of Antib in Turkey. Bayboyan recommends that the noodles be stir-fried first in chicken fat before being added to the pilaf. Another Armenian cookbook written by Vayanigpur recommends to render poultry fat in the oven with red pepper until the fat mixture turns a red color before using the strained fat to prepare pilaf. Pilaf made with bulgur and liver is a specialty of Zaitan present-day Sliman. Lopa is an Armenian word with several meanings, one of which is watery boiled rice, thick rice soup, mush, and leap, which refers to various rice dishes differing by region. Antranik Asdarian describes Armenian pilaf as dish resembling porridge. In Aden present-day Kemalay, a thin flatbread called loshig was baked and dried. It would be wet again before being eaten. Boyu was a pastry of fat and flour stamped with designs and sent as a wedding invitation. Glod was unleavened bread made for Lent, and kludig was a bread made of semolina. Moving on to the next segment, we have herbs and spices. Armenians make extensive use of various herbs in their dishes. One porridge prepared from cereals and wild herbs is called kerchik. The same name is used by Yazidis. Armenians usually eat kerchik with pickled cabbage, whereas Yazidis eat it with knotgrass Polygonum avicula. The eastern Anatolia region, where many Armenians lived prior to the Armenian genocide, has an immensely rich plant biodiversity with over 3,000 vascular plant taxa. Of these, almost 800 are endemic species. The inhabitants of this region often lived in inaccessible area and were dependent on local cultivated and wild flora. Some of the most important areas of the region, in terms of plant diversity, include Harput, Lake Hazar, and Munza. Commonly used spices include black pepper, sumac, cumin, and cinnamon. Some greens were dried and used to season cooking, including mint, summer savory, and basil. Red pepper pulp was dried in the sun. Sprigs of terbinth were dried and infused in a mixture of water, olive oil, and brine, then toasted and ground. The ground terbinth was added as a seasoning for tabbouleh and baked breads. The time has come to unravel the secrets behind dairy and cheese and gain a deeper understanding. Typical dairy items were present in the Armenian cuisine, such as yogurt, strained yogurt, butter, cream, and cheese. Cheese is a staple of Armenian cuisine, and in the traditional cuisine it was consumed daily. The process of making Armenian lori cheese begins by boiling, similar to halloumi cheese. It is preserved in a brine solution. Armenian-American cookbook author Rose Bayboyan explains that Armenian cheesemaking techniques date back to an era before refrigeration was widely available, so cheeses had to be preserved in brine solution. Shechil is a type of smoked Armenian cheese. In Musadal, traditional cheese was made from curds called chakalig. Jai or kebzodzbania was salted and dried thyme combined with curds and preserved in a jug. Softki cheese was a mixture of spices and curds shaped as a pyramid, dried and stored in glass until it began to turn moldy. Kierobania was made by adding yogurt water to milk. Yogurt and yogurt-derived products are of particular importance in the cuisine. Ton, called ayran in Turkey, is a yogurt-based drink made by mixing yogurt with water and salt. Bayboyan's recipe also includes sugar. This may have originated as a way of preserving yogurt by the addition of salt. Tan is the traditional Armenian name for strained yogurt. Strained yogurt that was boiled with water until completely solid was called yepadz, cooked yogurt, and it could be stored for use in winter soups. Butter was made by beating yogurt in a churn. Bayboyan gives several different recipes that can be prepared with yogurt madzun, like barley yogurt soup, jajik, which she calls Easter spinach salad, and sauce served with koftas. She has also a yogurt spice cake with cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves served with coconut and walnut topping. Her recipe for fruitcake, also made with yogurt, includes dried fruits, nuts, baking spices, and assorted candied fruits. Bayboyan's recipes were published before yogurt was widely available in American shops, so her recipe collection included instructions for preparing yogurt at home from fresh milk when it was published. In Urs, Sarkis Kolomboshin, an Armenian who had fled Turkey in 1917, began selling yogurt from an Andover, Massachusetts-based dairy farm, which he purchased during the Great Depression. The family made the yogurt themselves and also made tan. Armenian merchants in Watertown, Massachusetts began ordering yogurt, labn, and string cheese from Colombo Yogurt, and the product eventually made it onto supermarket shelves. Farina is a mixture of yogurt and bulgur wheat. The yogurt and bulgur are combined and left on a tray until the grains absorb the yogurt. Once the liquid is absorbed, the grain is placed in the sun to dry and then rubbed into a powder. This powder can be used to thicken soups or stews. Traditionally, it was stored in cloth bags. 3 types of farina are known from and present-day Kemalayi, the commonly known ton farina made from milled bulgur and ayran, farina from bulgur and water for Lent, and shira farina with bulgur and grape juice. According to Stanley Kerr, a staff member at the Near East Relief Orphanage for Armenian Children, when the massacres began during the Battle of Marash, Armenians sheltering at a soap factory sustained themselves on stores that included farina, dried fruits, and olive oil. Now, it's time to shift gears and explore fruits and other sweets. The main ingredients in Armenian sweets are honey, fruits, nuts, yogurt, and sesame. Both dried and fresh fruits are used. There are many fruit-based Armenian desserts, including smoked peaches and nuts cooked in honey and various fruit compotes. Armenian syrupy walnuts, called churchla in Georgia, are sweetened with mulberry or grape juice. Yogurt and nuts can be sweetened with honey. Cinnamon is heavily used as spice for desserts like apricot compote and kurabayi, a type of cookie. Armenian and Persian peaches were reportedly traded westward during the era of Alexander the Great. One Soviet-era writer reports that Armenia's apricots, peaches, walnuts, and quince are equal or superior to the world's best grades. Another writes Armenian peaches are famous, and her brandies are popular throughout the world. Grapes, figs, and pomegranates are also popular. Grapes and apricots are commonly used to make bast, a dried fruit leather of possible Persian origins that resembles fruit roll-ups. The Armenian version of the wheat berry pudding asher is called an ashabor. Since Armenians serve this pudding during Christmas and on New Year's Eve, it is sometimes called Armenian Christmas pudding. The pudding may be accompanied by curéeing or nuts such as almonds and pistachios. Like asher, the Christmas pudding may be garnished with pomegranate seeds and flavored with rose water and shared with neighbors during the Christmas season. This festive pudding is the centerpiece of the New Year's table, which is often decorated with dried fruits, nuts and pomegranates. In the art of Armenian cooking, Rose Baboyan describes 3 methods of making the pastry sheets for baklava, noting that this pastry is one of the most difficult to make from scratch. Armenians say the name of the pastry, which they call baklava, derives from the Armenian word baklent and helva sweet. Other Armenian sweets aloni pitted dried peaches stuffed with ground walnuts and sugar. Kadayf gatayf shredded dough with cream, cheese, or chopped walnut filling soaked with sugar syrup. With that being said, let's now move on to meats. Armenians eat various meats like mutton, beef and goat, but the most popular meat in Armenian cuisine is pork. 16th and 17th century Armenian writers in Ottoman Anatolia considered eating pork an important marker of Christian identity. An Armenian priest writing in the 16th century concluded, "If we didn't eat the meat of the pig, then we wouldn't be Christian." Roasted piglet, called gochi, is a traditional holiday meal prepared for New Year's celebrations. Roasted pork chops chalgich are a favored item for barbecues. Horovitz is an Armenian-style kebab that is usually made from pork, but can also be made with lamb. This kebab is prepared with vegetables like eggplant, tomato and green pepper. Lula kebab is very similar to Adana kebab, but spiced with cinnamon. Keshki is a bulgur pilav-based dish with lamb or chicken. It is cooked in a broth and flavored with butter, cinnamon and pepper. Tavaklu ulama is a chicken dish that is sometimes identified as Armenian, but there are conflicting accounts about its region of origin, and preparation of the dish varies substantially between regions. Some say it is a specialty of the Karayeb region, while another variation served in simple syrup is prepared annually in Marash, Turkey. Astama is a salted meat that is dried and pressed before being rubbed with a special spice paste called emen. It is a common food item in Armenia. Shigsuaks, a spicy beef sausage gifta, meaning meatball, comes in many types, such as Hayastan gifta, Karpat gifta, Parat gifta, Shli gifta, and so on. Tehel, also known as gavama, is potted meat preserved in its own fat. Let's now turn our gaze towards Daus and explore the fascinating connections it has to offer. Matnikish matnik, a soft and puffy leavened bread, made of wheat flour and shaped into oval or round loaves. The characteristic golden or golden brown crust is achieved by coating the surface of the loaves with sweetened tea essence before baking. Aghark, ritual bread prepared for New Year's Eve, mid-Lent, and so on. Chorug or chorug, braided bread formed into rolls or loaves, also a traditional loaf for Easter. Zingilev hats, not an everyday bread, are made with dough, dried cranberry and pomegranate molasses that go inside the dough, and 7 different greens which include spinach, coriander, parsley, basil, scallions, dill, and mint. There is a variety of combinations that can be used in the bread, and these greens can easily be substituted for other greens. The greens are placed in the bread and the bread is folded like a calzone. The time has come to unravel the secrets behind typical dishes and gain a deeper understanding. The everyday Armenian dish is the josh. This is a brothy stew consisting of meat or a legume, in the meatless version, a vegetable, and spices. The josh was typically cooked in the toner. The josh is generally served over a pilaf of rice or bulgur, sometimes accompanied by bread, pickles, or fresh vegetables or herbs. A specific variety of josh is the puréeing, a stew made with yogurt. Examples of josh are meat and green beans or green peas with tomato sauce, garlic, and mint, or fresh dill meat and summer squash or zucchini. This is a signature dish from Aintab and is characterized by the liberal use of dried mint, tomatoes, and lemon juice. Meat and pumpkin. This is a wedding dish from Marash made with meat, chickpeas, pumpkin, tomato and pepper paste, and spices. Meat and leeks in a yogurt sauce. A pho-style puréeing, made with small meatballs, chickpeas, chard, and desert truffles. Grilled meats are quite common as well and are omnipresent at market stalls, where they are eaten as fast food, as well as at barbecues and picnic. Also, in modern times, no Armenian banquet is considered complete without an entree of kebab. Kebabs vary from the simple marinated meat on a skewer interspersed with vegetables to the more elaborate. Certain regions in Western Armenia developed their local, specialized kebabs. For example, a pho kebab, spiced ground meat interspersed with eggplant slices. Oruk and kanambuyu, two Cilician specialties in which lean ground meat is kneaded with dough and spices and lined on a skewer. Brace yourself for a captivating discussion on breakfast as we explore its nuances and implications. The modern Armenian breakfast consists of coffee or tea, plus a spread of cheeses, jams, jellies, vegetables, eggs, and breads. Armenians living in the diaspora often adopt local customs. Thus, Armenians in Lebanon, Syria, and Egypt may include full stewed fava beans in olive oil. Traditional Armenian breakfast dishes were hearty. They included kash, sometimes colloquially called the Armenian hangover cure, is a basic dish of simmered cow's hooves. Kash is mentioned in 12th century medieval Armenian texts. Kalajosh, there are many variants of this dish. It can be a meat and yogurt stew or it can be a vegetarian stew made with lentils, fried onions, and matsoon. In either case, it was traditionally eaten by crumbling stale lavash bread over it and eating it with a spoon. Lolligivs vajik tomato and egg scramble. This is a very common breakfast item, essentially a simple scramble with tomato as the base. Some iterations of this dish can include, most commonly, onions and bell peppers. This is usually served with traditional lavash bread, any panna Armenian feta and herbs tarragon, purple basil, and cilantro. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on appetizers and its role in shaping our understanding. Meals in Armenia often start with a spread of appetizers served for the table. Armenian appetizers include stuffed vine leaves called yelentchi sarma, a type of dolma, a fried cheese stuffed pastry called dabgodsbanaborag, stuffed mussels maidi dolma, and several types of pickled vegetables generally known as tushi. Toasted pumpkin seeds are a popular snack. Armenians call them tutumi dud. Chickpea balls called topik are made by Turkey's Armenian community. They are spiced with currants, onions, and cinnamon and served with a tangy sauce. Takui Tavasyan discusses several Armenian mezes in her book Sofrans and Ulsan, including stuffed mackerel, a dish of beans in sauce served over stale bread. Leftover yuffa bread or lavash may be used, also called farsali payas, and a type of olive oil-based appetizer with mussels called maidi pilakisi. Welcome to the next segment, where we explore salads and its significance in our journey. Many, if not most, Armenian salads combine a grain or legume with fresh vegetables, often tomato, onions, and fresh herbs. Mayonnaise is used in Western or Russian-inspired salads such as Olivier salad. Examples of Armenian salads include each cracked wheat salad, similar to the Middle Eastern tabbouleh. Lentil salad, brown lentils, tomatoes, onions, in a dressing of lemon juice, olive oil, and chopped parsley. This salad has many variations, with the lentils being replaced by chickpeas, black-eyed peas, chopped raw or roasted eggplant, or other ingredients. As we enter this new phase, let's analyze burek from different angles and evaluate its significance. Bureks are pies made with filo pastry and stuffed with cheese. Panir of burek, from Armenian, panna for cheese. Eastern Armenians refer to this as khachapuri or spinach, similar to spanakopita in Greek cuisine. They are a popular snack and fast food, often served as appetizer. Su burek lit. Water berek is a lasagna-style dish with sheets of filo pastry briefly boiled in a large pan before being spread with fillings. Buryk is a bread roll, not filo pastry stuffed with ground meat similar to Russian porofki. Semzik, from the region of Urfa, is a fried open-faced meat buryk. A specific Lenten buryk is made with spinach and tahini sauce. As we venture forward, let's examine soups in detail and gain a deeper appreciation for its significance. Armenian soups include spos, made from matsoon, hulled wheat and herbs, usually cilantro, and oblak, made from lentils, walnuts, and wild mountain sorrel, which gives the soup its name. Kifta soup is made with large balls of strained boiled meat, kifta, and greens. Another soup, kash, is considered an Armenian institution. Songs and poems have been written about this one dish, which is made from cow's feet and herbs made into a clear broth. Tradition holds that kash can only be cooked by men, who spend the entire night cooking, and can be eaten only in the early morning in the dead of winter, when it is served with heaps of fresh garlic and dried lavash. Tigit is made from tatu lavash fruit leather, thin rolled up sheets of sour plum pear, which are cut into small pieces and boiled in water. Fried onions are added and the mixture is cooked into a pear. Pieces of lavash bread are placed on top of the mixture, and it is eaten hot with fresh lavash used to scoop up the mixture by hand. Kash is a local soup made in the town of Vake in the Vyazma province. This is a walnut-based soup with red and green beans, chickpeas and spices, served garnished with red pepper and fresh garlic. Soups of Russian heritage include borscht, a beetroot soup with meat and vegetables served hot in Armenia, with fresh sour cream, and okroshka, a matsoon or kefir-based soup with chopped cucumber, green onion, and garlic. Organic chicken soup with small meatballs, garnished before serving with beaten egg yolks, lemon juice, and parsley. Bulgur, a sweet soup made of hulled wheat cooked in grape juice, served hot or cold. Bozba, a mutton or lamb soup that exists in several regional varieties with the addition of different vegetables and fruits. Bunjapurbanzapa, rice and potato soup, garnished with coriander. Zavarapa, hulled wheat, potatoes, tomato pear, egg yolks diluted with water are stirred into the soup before serving. Floral beef soup with coarsely chopped spinach leaves and cherry-sized dumplings made from oatmeal or wheat flour. Harissa, also known as porridge of coarsely ground wheat with pieces of boned chicken. Katinapa, a milk-based rice soup, sweetened with sugar. Katinov, a milk-based rice soup with cinnamon and sugar. Kololuk soup cooked from mutton bones with ground mutton dumplings, rice, and fresh tarragon garnish. A beaten egg is stirred into the soup before serving. Kchik soup made from sauerkraut, pickled cabbage, hulled wheat, potatoes, and tomato pear. Mantapa, beef soup with manti. The manti are typically served with matsoon or sour creamed vasa, accompanied by clear soup. Matsnapatosh, so this is the same as okroshka referenced earlier, with sour clotted milk diluted with cold water, with less vegetation than okroshka itself. Matsnapatosh is served cold as a refreshment and supposedly normalizes blood pressure. Puchik, mutton cut into pieces, dried peas, potatoes, leeks, and tomato pear, cooked and served in individual crocks. Sanpa, pea soup with rice, beets, and matsoon. Skapa, a mushroom soup. Tarkana, flour and matsoon soup. Vospaporospa, lentil soup with dried fruits and ground walnuts. Pikapor, mustache soup, chickpeas, shelled wheat, lentils, in a vegetarian broth and fresh tarragon. This soup originates from Aintab. Welcome to the next segment, where we explore fish and its significance in our journey. Armenian cuisine includes many typical seafood dishes like fried mussels, maidi taba, stuffed calamari, kalama dolma, mackerel, uskumru, and bonito palmet. The trout from Lake Seven is called ishkan and can be prepared different ways, including a baked dolma version stuffed with dried fruits, prunes, damsons, or apricots, and a poached version marinated with red peppers. Ishkan is also sometimes served in a walnut sauce. One recipe for fish tiret is given by a 1913 cookbook that adapted Near Eastern recipes for the American palate. For a relatively landlocked country, Armenian cuisine includes a surprising number of fish dishes. Typically, fish is either broiled, fried, or sometimes poached. A few recipes direct the fish to be stuffed. Fish may have been used to stuff vegetables in ancient times, though that is not common anymore. There are several varieties of fish in Armenia. Sigsiga whitefish from Lake Yerevan, native to northern Russian lakes, endangered species in Armenia. Karmrakate alabula, a river trout, also produced in high-altitude artificial lakes, e.g., the Mantish Reservoir in Shirak province. Koguk, an indigenous Lake Yerevan fish of the carp family, also called Yerevan chromalia, overfished. As we progress through this video, let's shift our attention towards main courses and uncover its hidden depths. Fasulya, a stew made with green beans, lamb and tomato broth or other ingredients. Yopama, pumpkin stew. Chujku, a casserole of mixed vegetables with pieces of meat or fish on top, baked and served in a clay pot. Tuvik, a dish of fried liver and kidneys with onions. With our foundation established, it's time to explore ritual foods and its relevance to our overarching theme. Baki kofta, are kofta stuffed with peanut butter and tahini, made with a shell of chickpeas, bulgur and semolina. They are commonly made for Lent, which is observed in the Armenian Orthodox Church. Inchkanoksa, bread used for Holy Communion. Mozmoz literally means peace, a piece of leftover bread from the making of nshka, given to worshippers after church service. Matamota, sacrificial meat, can be of any animal such as goat, lamb, or even bird. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of drinks. Armenian coffee. Strong black coffee, finely ground, sometimes sweet kefir, fermented milk drink. Ton yogurt drink, still or carbonated. Jermak, a brand of mineral water from the Jermak area. Hake, a brand of bottled mountain spring water from the Jermak area. In Armenian, Hake stands for Armenia and Sorry for from the mountains. Tarkan soda, Tarkan flavored soda. Now, let's shift our attention to beer. Armenian-produced beer gara is considered to be one of the favorite drinks of Armenian men. The beer industry is developing barley malt and producing beer from it. The preparation of beer in Armenia was known from ancient times. According to the Greek historian Xenophon, the manufacture of beer in Armenia began in BC 5th centuries. Armenians used beer grains for brewing barley, millet, hops. In 1913 there were 3 beer factories that produced 54,000 deciliters of beer. From 1952 to 1978, new factories in Yerevan, Goris, Alavadi, Abovian were built while existing factories were expanded and improved upon. For providing raw materials for beer production in Gyumri, a large malt plant was launched based in the production of barley malt of Shirak Valley Farms with the capacity of 10,000 tons of production. In 1985, 6 million deciliters of beer were produced. Popular brands Kotek Cilicia Uni produced by Kotek Brewery Gyumri Oleksandropol Darjet. With our curiosity piqued, let's embark on a dedicated exploration of brandy and its fascinating intricacies. Armenian brandy konyak, known locally as konyak, is perhaps Armenia's most popular exported alcoholic drink. It has a long history of production. Armenian brandy made by Yerevan Wine and Brandy Factory was said to be the favorite drink of British statesman Winston Churchill. It was the favorite alcoholic drink of Joseph Stalin, Franklin D. Roosevelt and Churchill at the Yalta Conference at 1945. The history of Armenian brandy begins in 1887 in the winery of Armenian merchant North Tayo of Yerevan. By 1890-1900, Yerevan was becoming a center for the production of brandy, numbering a number of factories owned by Gyozal of 1892, Sorov 1894, Termkjian 1899, and others. In 1899, North Tarev sold his factory to Nikolai Shustov's well-known brand in Russia. In 1914, there were 15 factories in the province of Yerevan. The largest, the one now owned by Shustov, produced 210,010 deciliters of brandy. In 1921, the Soviet state took over Shustov's factory, and it was renamed to Ararot. This became the main factory for wine manufacturing. despite the fact that only brandies produced in the Cognac region of France have the legal permission to be called cognac according to Western trade rules. Armenian brandy is called cognac inside Armenia. Yerevan Brandy Factory is now negotiating to obtain an official privilege to market its brandy as cognac. Armenian brandy is categorized by its age and method of aging. The rated stars indicate the age of brandy since its fermentation, starting from 3 stars. The most expensive cognacs have passed additional vintage for more than 6 years and have special names. The brandy is aged in oak barrels and is made from selected local white grapes grown in the Erot Valley, which is giving it a shade of caramel brown. Popular brands are at Noi. In the following section, we'll be immersing ourselves in the captivating world of Odi. Odi, an Armenian alcoholic beverage usually distilled from fruit, also called Ortsak, is a well-known brand name of Armenian mulberry vodka tutti Odi produced in Nagorno-Karabakh from local fruit. In the Armenian diaspora, where fruit vodka is not distilled, Odi refers to the aniseed-flavored distilled alcoholic drink called arak in the Middle East, raki in Turkey, or ouzo in Greece. Mulberry vodka tits are a traditional Armenian vodka made from distilling the mulberry, which is grown all over Armenia, especially in the highlands and Ortsak. Prepare yourself for an in-depth analysis of wine in this section. The alcoholic drink with the longest history in Armenia is wine. The oldest known winery in the world was discovered in Armenia. Historically, wineries in Armenia were concentrated along the Erot Valley. Of particular note was the district of Cotton, current Nakhchivan area. Today, Armenian wineries are concentrated in the Arini region district of Vayetsa. Armenian wine is mostly made from local varietals, such as Arini, Lalvari, Kakit, etc. Though some wineries mix in better-known European varietals such as Chardonnay and Cabernet. Winemaking took a downward plunge in the years following the collapse of the Soviet Union, but is undergoing a revival, with the addition of world-class labels such as Zora Wines. A yearly wine festival, held in Arini, is popular with the locals and features wines from official wineries as well as homemade which of varying quality. Armenian wines are predominantly red and are sweet, semi-sweet Vernician, Yerevan, or dry Arini. Armenian Highland engaged in winemaking since ancient times. It has achieved considerable development of Ora 2 times 9th-6th centuries BC. During excavations in the castle of Taishebani have been found around 480, and in Toprakal, Monotsket, Red Hill and Arabinium 200 pot. The evidences of high-level and large-scale wine production in Armenia are as follows: Herodotus, Strabo, Xenophon and others, and Armenian historians of the 5th centuries, as well as sculptures of architectural monuments and protocols. Armenia's current area began wine production in the second half of the 19th century. At the end of the 19th century, next to the small businesses in Yerevan, Gamalu Artashit, Asharak, Ikmayeds and Vaghashaput, there were 4 mill. In addition to grapes, wines have been made with other fruit, notably pomegranate, rankini, apricot, quince, and so on. In some cases, these fruit wines are fortified. Welcome to the next segment, where we explore mineral waters and its significance in our journey. Among the soft drinks, Armenian mineral water is known for its healing specialty and is recommended by doctors. This spring water originates from the depth of earth and flowing from ancient mountains in the city of Jermuk. Armenia has rich reserves of mineral water. After the establishment of the Soviet Union, the study and development of multilateral disciplines in these waters began. First industrial bottling was organized in Osny in 1927. In 1949, Diligen and Jermuk mineral water factories were put into operation. In 1960–1987, Hankovan, Lichk, Boni, Lori, Arpi, Erot mineral water bottling plants and factories were launched, which are involved in the production unit Mineral Water of Armenia. ASSR in 1985 produced 295 million bottles of mineral water. I love interacting with my viewers, so leave me a comment and I'll do my best to respond.